What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Good morning to AJ in the house. Good morning to Albert. Good morning to Andrew, Bill, Brian, Frank, Joe, John, Lawrence in the house. Good morning to Lucian, Martina, T, Flo. Good morning to Tim. Virginia's in the house. Good morning to William. People are piling in. BEA, beautiful. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to me. Good morning to Mustafa, Amanda, B. Giles in the house. Good morning to Ivan as well. And for obviously all the lurkers in the back of YouTube, that's just not gonna say anything all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But yeah, so we had wild day yesterday. Pretty much not doing anything, ending in a nice little high wave indecision candle. And that comes off of the backs of Jerome Powell also kind of giving a mixed statement. So the very first part of his statement was fairly bullish, pretty much saying economy is good, jobs good, not a lot of issues. Second half of his statement is still lots of uncertainty. We are data dependent. The one thing that he really said, and uh, if you guys check out the Fed futures prediction rate, we were expecting maybe a rate cut in June. That looks like the rate has the probability has dropped significantly, and they're thinking maybe July. But he was basically saying, I'm good to hold the rates until we actually see something. So give me a crack in the hard data. And I think there was even a lot of questions about the hard data, soft data yesterday from some of the reporters in the room, but it was the hard data that Jerome Powell's pretty much saying, give me a crack in the economy first, and then we'll make our move. Other than that, we're okay, just kind of holding. So for right now, it looks like the Fed is still okay, being on the plan that they kind of came into the year with, and I think we're still looking for maybe three to four rate cuts this year. Probably likely to be three, maybe, but might be pushing that back to July. So markets are okay with it though. And then somewhere around like 9:15 last night, Trump announces a potential deal with the UK today, potentially at I think 10 a.m. So we'll see what kind of info we have from that. Be careful. Be careful with that one. Um, we have, I think anything in terms of negotiation, market's going to take it positive. We have no idea, number one, what the deal is. We don't know how favorable it is to us, to the UK. We don't know the terms of it. So all of that could come out and negate any positivity we have this morning. It is possible, but at least there's something. And the other thing is, we don't know if it's an actual deal or just kind of a proposed outline. Proposed, like it sounds to me like it's not a signed deal. It is just a outline at least. So still some positivity. The market still likes it. Nice little gap up today. 565.50 is where we're sitting now. Pretty decent location for the SPY. It was a little bit better before. We have a 100 EMA somewhere around 565.76. We were slightly above it into this almost 566.77 range. But look for your first support, 565.21. This is a retest gap from yesterday. We are jumping above the 200, which is a big deal, especially if we could close there. And then we're going to need a little follow through on some of these days to get us as far as possible from that northbound for the bull's sake. But we should have some deal announcements, I would expect, and headlines coming out today for that. Other big news is Trump yesterday, toward the end of the day, after Jerome Powell got off the podium. There was he was kind of rescinding the chips. That's not the Chips Act, but he was banning some of the chips, and now he's saying we're going to probably try to pull that back a little bit. And Nvidia screamed, AMD was ripping, SMCI was moving. So we'll see how that plays out. Some of those names have kind of come down, but Nvidia looks still fairly strong coming into today as well. So we'll see what happens. But lots of just headline after headline after headline, all big news. I don't think that was the big news quite yet from what Trump was alluding to 2 days ago. That might actually, I was thinking maybe that was in regards to Nvidia and the chips. I might get lucky on that one because it was maybe that was the big deal, the big news. I don't think it was. I think it actually might be more toward healthcare is what some of the rumors might be for now as well. But either way, chips looking good, Nvidia looking good, market looking kind of healthy today. And then we're gonna have to watch healthcare because and I see already Lily coming into the chat from from Wendy. But there might be some more room on that one, Wendy. We'll see. But otherwise, SPY looks good. It is into a little bit of resistance. We'll see if there's some a little bit of pullback at open and maybe some sideways chop until we get some news. I don't know if we're gonna get news right at 10 a.m. because I think that's when the meeting starts, but maybe some headlines coming out throughout. We'll see how that plays out. Other than that, we got the Qs. BJL says SPY is back at Liberation Day number. Look at that. Full round trip. Pick your ticket. Bullish from here or is this a double top from Liberation Day? Qs. This one is gapping up. Still retest gap. Um, what is telling me there's maybe some buy the dip coming in, and that might be just again in hopes of the deals starting to come in, some of the rumors about the deals. All of those days, not yesterday, but the last 3 days prior to yesterday, they've all been gap downs that have been bought up. So 3 days in a row. Same thing with SPY. Looks very, very similar to this. And there is some strength starting to come in, some bulls cautiously coming in. And the biggest things we've been struggling with is can we get above some of that resistance? So we've just been kind of bouncing back into the previous day. Yesterday was the first day we opened with a gap and go, and we did close above it. So not bad. Uh, not bad, at least in terms of stability. Not that the Bears are full in control. But I think bulls are here, and it just, what can we do? Can we get a close above the resistance? And that's going to be important for the end of today. So if we could close somewhere above 489.70, I think we look good. At least up until I got about 492.40 would be my next target. So watch those numbers for today too. Otherwise, it is a little bit of a retest gap. Probably looking for a little support on the Qs, 487.48. And unfortunately, that throws us into a very tight trading range for today. If we can start breaking down from there, next level, I think 484.04. And then again, I don't know if I want to see it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You got 482.56 to probably bounce off that 200 and a VPOC that is sitting right there as well. Bitcoin, crypto kind of moving today. Ethereum, I think, was up like 9%. I'm not sure if it's still there, but nice little breakout. We were watching this the last couple days for Bitcoin. This is a pretty big resistance, so you do have a little bit of a kind of a reversal candle over the course of 4 days. A little bit of a warning sign. We got back. We're just hanging out at this kind of key support, and it's either we break down from here or break out. It looks like they chose the path to the northbound side, and we closed yesterday right into a resistance with that extra news from Trump and the UK deal. That's going to push us higher than that. So crypto looking really, really good today, which was on a very delicate spot to be at. Next spot on Bitcoin. Yeah, we're opening into a little bit of resistance. We've been here before. I think we could break through this. This is 99,344. Next spot up takes us to 99,856. That's $150 shy of that 100K mark. That would be a big deal. Getting back above 100K, and then your spot above it will take you to about 100,816. So slight resistance at open again, but looks pretty decent. The fact that we are all above 97,041. If we get a retest in the future, I would be looking for that number to hold somewhere around that 97K. See if we get the next bounce off there and then continue. But for right now, looking fairly healthy in crypto space. Gold, not so much. Gold with a little bit of a gap down today. It sounds like it's thundering outside. Either that or some people moving some heavy furniture around. I don't know. We got gold is getting a little bit of it's a retest gap again. Gaps on gold, they don't typically pan out the same way. There's not as much emotion, I guess, into it. But look for your first support on this one, about 309.02. If we start breaking that, there's a couple of resistance in the way. The next one is 307.41. I think we can break that down, and you'd be looking for like 305.66. So gold under a little bit of pressure as the safety play slowly unwinding, and a little bit of a risk on attitude this morning. We got Lily is the first ticker. If you guys got tickers, let me know, and we'll take a look at those. Lily, we were looking at this in the master group yesterday, and this is not a great. This is in no way, shape, or form. So the two gaps we were looking at was there's an unfilled gap here and an unfilled gap here. This is the latest one. I think this is a very tough one to fill. But the Bulls had like their last chance, I think, yesterday. So again, can we get down into this 742 zone, 742.87? Maybe we just fill that gap, fill that candle, and then we start approaching higher. That's what I would love to see for the Bulls. Because if we don't, we're in no man's land. There's nothing really stopping us to about 590. I don't know if I'm willing to go bullish on that gap fill. I'm not going to go bullish at open on this one. Even though it is a retest gap, I'd still want this to come at least a little further if I'm going to try to play this retest. And maybe that's what we do get today. But we get 757.11 is the first spot. Maybe I'd look to attempt to go bullish. But the other news, and this is what some people are saying in the healthcare, is potentially next week there might be some kind of announcement in regards to uh, using the Fed and some of the federal money to lower the cost of certain prescription drugs. So everything across the board, Abivi was down, Eli Lilly's down, PFE I think is down, PFE. Yeah, PFE is still down. So you still have some headlines, which obviously cheaper drug costs will affect some of the pockets of some of the bigger drug companies, and that would be at least seen as a negative. So I don't think I'd be ready to go bullish yet. Probably stick with that bear train. Just see if you could kind of ride it down at least into the report. We have no, or to the news. We don't know exactly what is happening or what the effects to some of these companies will be, but I think it's just too risky right now to try to be buying dips on anything healthcare until we get the announcement. So be careful of all those. I prefer them all leaning in the short direction into the meeting for whichever one, for whichever comes out of that meeting. I have no idea. Hims, remarkable day yet again. We talked about this one yesterday. Pretty fantastic bullish engulfing candle after earnings, which was down, had a monster day. The question was, can we get continuation? Do we get an inside day? Looks like we came right into the spot we were talking about by close to a couple pennies, maybe off. But I was looking for somewhere around 46.96. We pretty much retested into that. The bulls show they are still here. Hims for today, we're having a gap down, so it looks a little bit different than the rest of the market. We've had a 2 days in a row, two monster days in a row, and then one before that little highway of indecisive type candle. Even that one closed higher than the day before, so technically 3, 4, 5 green days in a row. Um, you ran into a good resistance, 51.75. So again, be patient with it. If we start getting above that, I think the continuation does continue, and that runs us to 55.25. And if we could break through that, we got the next spot back to 58.73 and eventually back to 65.49. So it looks good. Again, same thing like yesterday. I can't be buying this one. It's already moved too high for me at the moment. I think there's better opportunities. But retail traders, they love this name. They're pushing this name. If you're going to try it today, see if the same thing happens yesterday. See if you just get a bounce off that VPOC somewhere around $50.68. If it starts breaking, maybe see 47.09, 47.06 again, somewhere in there. But for right now, looks like it's still fairly bullish, just getting a little bit of profit taking. And why not? If you're in something that has moved like this last couple days and now some other names are perking up a little bit, okay, maybe you can rotate that investment. Lucius says if it turns out to be government subsidy, then that should be good for pharma. We shall see. Yeah, no, I forget exactly how they proposed it, and I think some of the details are still unclear. But it's only on certain prescription drugs, and it's I don't know if it's a subsidy, but it might be like just some kind of price cut to those in some effect. So again, I don't have all the details. I don't think they're all out yet, and we have to kind of see what happens. But yeah, I don't know if it's specifically like subsidy from the government because the healthcare would take that positive. I think it's something where they have to reduce the cost of certain drugs, whatever's on the list, and I don't think we're quite sure what's on it. So yeah, I'm staying away until I have a little bit more info on that one. You got MU is looking pretty good. It is a retest gap. It's not at resistance yet. Maybe we were, but you got about $85.78. Let's see if we hit that at all. Pre-market after hours. At least from TradingView, they're telling me we have not. We got into about 84.82. What did we say we needed again? 84.82. Yeah, we got pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. The next one up would be about 85.50, but you're a little bit closer to that still resistance, slightly underneath it, and it's a retest gap. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go bullish on it. It is a trickier stock, but I'd be looking for maybe some kind of a pullback first. I like it bullish longer term. I just don't know if today at open would give me enough really risk to reward to go bullish, unless something goes crazy. But we've already had some of the news about chips that's been out there. I don't know if we get any additional news, but the main portion of it, I think, could be out. And we'll have to see where it goes from there. I do want to take a look at Shopify because they did miss earnings. Earnings weren't bad. They missed by 0.001 cent of earnings per share, so about 0.5%. Not terrible. They came in with 8.61 million beat to the higher side on revenue, so they did beat on that. Um, Guidance was weak. Guidance was a little bit weak on this one. It was down a little bit more. It was earlier today, so they've already started buying this dip up. But we were sitting, I think, closer to, if I'm not mistaken, about $87, somewhere in that zone. This one, I think, if it comes a little bit higher, I'm looking for about 91, 94. If we get somewhere close to that zone, I think it's good to play to the short side, but it is a little bit weaker than the rest of the market. So just take note, doing something a little bit different. I do have my target to the downside. First target, at least for today, maybe about 85.24. Anything overextended, or if the market just doesn't like the UK deal, or whatever happens from that point, and everything pressure wise comes into the market, maybe get down to like this 83.66, 83.20, bigger target. But it is doing something different. I think it's noteworthy to keep on the list. This was a retest gap that already looks like they're trying to buy this thing already pre-market. So we'll see. I liked it a little bit before if it came down a tad more to probably play that fade into there, but right now it's a little too close to it. So see if it comes up a little higher, I'd be willing to go short on that one. Coinbase. Coinbase could be interesting. Real Virtual Demand says, I love the UK. I do too. Yeah. Mhm. Anytime I see a t-shirt or bumper sticker that says I love the UK, I'm buying it. I have to. I have to. Big fan. Huge fan. Maybe the biggest fan ever. We got Coinbase is looking good. Yesterday, technically a retest gap. I think it's a pretty good gap. I just wish it opened a tad higher. I wish this was opening above 207.90. Then I'd go full force, guns ablazing, go bullish. Um, you're kind of getting caught up a little bit in some of the support resistance zones, so lots of volume in this range. You are above it though by like a few pennies. We'll have to see where this one opens. Maybe if you get a little bit of a pullback, I think you really want to see 205.75 hold or 205.67 hold. I kind of before that really want to see where we're sitting right now, about 206.20 hold. So we're very close to it. And then to the higher side of things, the next target isn't that big. That's going to take me up to like 208, somewhere maybe slightly under 208. But that would be my target to the bull side. Maybe we break out and crypto goes crazy, and that's going to help obviously Coinbase, and we'll probably see targets into like 212.41 for today. But that 208 is looking me right in the face, and you might have some profit taking up there again. Just like it, I always use the Apple one. I don't know. I don't mean to bash on Apple, but they're just notorious for it. Where you have, hey, we have the Apple conference today, and we might introduce a new product, and you get all the people going, yeah, let's buy it. And then like the product comes out, and no matter how cool it is, how many how many different colors that they have on their new phone, you just get to sell the news. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe we get to sell the news on the first deal, and that would wind us up for the Penguin deal. I think is the real one. If we get the Penguins to we gotta get him to the table. I don't know. Maybe we could meet him in Switzerland. We'll see. I don't know. Is it Switzerland cold? I'm not even sure. I got chocolate. That's all I know. That's it. But we'll see what happens. Otherwise, yeah, really, really good gap. I don't wanna take away from that gap. Day trade wise, it's a tough range, but I'd be looking more bullish than bearish. I just don't even know how I want to get into this thing. Unless I'm expecting Bitcoin to really push and hit the 100K mark today, that would be a huge incentive for Coinbase. We got Nvidia. I'm a big fan of the Penguins. Yeah. I don't know, a little bit more bigger fan of the UK, but Penguins are right there. It's like UK and then Penguins. That's kind of the pecking order. No pun intended. We got Nvidia is gapping up as well. Again, the news yesterday catapulted this one. People were loving it. Pretty okay location as long as we're above 118.69. I think you get probably a continued pop on this one. We will see. The pop might not be too extended, but that would take us into 120.63 targets for today northbound. Otherwise, it is a retest gap, so be careful of that. There are some people profitable. Market itself is all up. I think we got good news across the board, and we'll see. Maybe those bulls come in. We're also above the 100. Maybe give me a high wave candle on this one. I might play it. It's probably gonna be aggressive if I do, but I like it bullish. I just again, how much of that retest? How many people want to take profits here at 118? I don't know. Maybe some 120 psychological number. I think is a better resistance. So I'm gonna want my targets within that range before we get to that 120. We'll see how that plays out. Hood also get a nice little pop today too. This one looks absolutely, again, almost fantastic. I really like this gap too. I don't like this one resistance from back here that we haven't hit yet. That would be 51.64. Otherwise, notably, and again, it's a red candle, but it was a retest gap. The volume on this one is crazy after earnings. We are taking out that candle at open. It's astonishing. That's really, really strong push. We've also had 4 green days in here, so we've given people time to buy it up. They are going to be profitable. Let's see if we get a small pullback on this one. But that looks really good for Hood. And then again, you have a little resistance approaching. Let's see if we break that, where the next target would take us to. The next target would take us up to about 52.42. Anything past that, I think longer term, Hood looks fantastic. I'd say we have room to 55.28. I just don't know about today. It's possible. That's a really good, really, really good gap. I'm getting caught up with all this small resistance, swing trade wise. If I'm in it, I like it a little bit higher. I think we do get this push out. That looks pretty fantastic, providing we don't do a big bearish engulfing candle across the board today. Possible. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But that looks really good for right now. So I'd rather be bullish, try to pick my spots of how to get in there. I think you got a better chance of being successful riding that bull train today. You got XYZ. This one at least has a lot more room on it. Good old block. I know a lot of people are probably going to be targeting this $59 mark. If you get there, especially if you do it today, fantastic. I think you have a lot of resistance, probably into like $50.41. So that would take you about $2 on a $48 stock. It's not bad. This is a retest. I think this one, look for that fade. See if you get as close as possible to 47.79. Get yourself a little bit better risk reward. But other than that, from here, you have some decent room on this one. I don't know. Why do I want to be so paid? I'm like the biggest bull in the world. The market's giving me what I want to see, and I'm like, maybe I should be patient today. Hmm. Oh, it's a thought. It's a thought. ARM. I am pretty stacked up on everything bullish right now. So, and that's the bigger question to me is not even. I'm like, do I want to just take some profits today? Is it a good profit taking day, especially before 10 a.m. or or am I just gonna roll the dice? I don't know. We got ARM is gapping down, so they had earnings that was pretty good, not bad. I think again their guidance was maybe a little bit weak, but beat earnings per share by 4.86%. Nothing to sneeze at. Pretty good. You got a $6.67 million revenue beat. Not bad on that aspect as well. However, gap down. We've seen this play out before. You are opening to a little resistance. I would expect some chop. If we're opening anywhere below, which we are now by a couple pennies, we'll see if it lasts for the next 3 minutes. But if you're opening anywhere under 118.31, I would be leaning to the short side. See if you get some of those traps. It looks a little like PLTR from a couple days ago. Well, we're already buying it back. So otherwise, your next spot to attempt a short on a very strong bullish day, but 121.55 would be the next spot. I don't really want to go long. We are trapping some bulls. We're kind of high up there. You get a more significant pullback, but big support somewhere around 118.31. If that starts to break, there's a lot of room to the downside to like 114.88. That would be a really nice day trade with potential to get all the way back down to 112.62 for today. It's probably a little bit of a stretch. Probably looking for that first target, but the higher you could get on this one, as close as possible to 121.65. And then you probably want your stop somewhere above 123.41. So we'll see how it plays out. Otherwise, it is a gap and go bearish. Looks a little different than the rest of the market. So not too bad. Yo 11. I'm missing that reference. I know Adrian, but I feel like that's a I don't know. That's different. We got Google. So Google got absolutely slaughtered yesterday off of Apple trying to have AI search. That's going to cut into the core business for Google. They got absolutely clobbered. That candle reflects that sentiment. Otherwise, for today, gap and go, and maybe we're right back on the track again. Really good buying opportunity yesterday. We talked about even maybe an interesting thing to sell some puts on this one with I think it was down like 7% yesterday. Yeah, 7.26%. Probably a good day to sell some puts on Google. I don't think it goes to zero no matter how much AI Apple wants to use in their searching. Other than that, you are opening into a little resistance, gap and go. Maybe you get some kind of a pullback on this one. I'm not going to go bullish quite yet. Lots of resistance on it. Pull back to this one. See if you can buy it as close as possible, 151.60. That would get you an opportunity to throw your stops right somewhere around 147.68. And at least you have good risk reward if this candle breaks down. Then be careful. We probably head lower. Still not much lower. 145.72. Anything past that starts to get a little bit more ugly for Google. Craps reference. That's not Craps the one game. I love good casino games. Trust me, I do. Craps I can't figure out to save my life. I don't know. Everyone looks like they're having so much fun doing it. I'm just sitting in the corner playing with Legos when they're playing craps because I don't know. I can't figure it out. But that is the morning bell. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button because you guys are absolutely incredible. We'll see what happens with the UK deal. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. I don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later, guys.